Hello friends, in this video tutorial we are going to learn how disable or ban user account, so user cannot log in into system by using PHP with Ajax jQuery. Here we have discussed simple system, in which admin has all rights to active and inactive particular user login account. Once admin has disabled any particular user account, then that user will not log in into system. In short, here we have make simple system in which an active user will be restricted from login into system. They will don't allowed into system by using PHP script. In the system, master user can disable particular user account, and he can also enable particular user account. Once disabled use has been active by master at admin panel, then that user can now log in into system. This is very useful feature, and in also system it is required. So here we have discussed this topic and make tutorial on this topic. Now let's start discussing this topic. This is our testing 2 database, and in this we have one user details table with 7 table column like user ID, user email, user password, username, user type, user image and user status. In this table we have already inserted some data, so here we can see first user John Smith, and in his row user type column we have defined master, and in other user we have defined user. So here John Smith is admin and other are sub-user, so here John Smith has rights to active or inactive particular user account. In this table last column we have right user status table column. In this table we can define particular user status as active or inactive, and in this column we can enter only 2 data like active or inactive because we have a num data type. Now we have go to our PHP page. First we will make login and logout code for this system. In any system there are login is the entry of any system for access, and logout is exists of system. So we have moved to PHP page. This is our index page. After login user will redirect to this page, and without login into system, user will not access this page. On this page we have include JavaScript library jQuery and Bootstrap library into this page. First we have moved to write login page code, so we have go to login.php page, and here we have write form tag with attribute method is equal to post. In this form tag we have make simple login form. Under this first we have define input type is equal to text with attribute name is equal to user email. Under this text box user can enter his email in. Below this we have defined one more input type is equal to password with attribute name is equal to user password. Under this text box user can enter his password for login to system. Lastly, under this form we have write input type is equal to submit with attribute name is equal to login and value is equal to login. By click this button user can send his login details to server for verification. Now we have moved to write PHP code, so first we want to make database connection. So make database connection, we have create one database connection.php page. Under this page we will make database connection. So here we have write $connect variable is equal to new PHP data object with 3 argument. In first argument we have write MySQL host is equal to localhost. Database name is equal to testing2. In second username argument we have write $username, and in third password argument we have write blank. This way we have make database connection. We have write session start function. This function will start session on this page. Now we have go to login.php page, and on this page here we have write include statement with database connection.php file name. By using this include statement we have include database connection.php into this login page. So whatever code we have write under database connection.php page, that code we can access here. Then after we have write $message variable is equal to blank value, in this value we will store validation message and display on web page. Now we have write if statement, and under condition we have write set function with $post login variable which is name of submit button. This condition will check if value of this button is set, then it will execute if block of code. Suppose value of $post login variable value is set, then it will execute if block of code, and under this block we have write if statement with condition like empty function with $post user email variable or empty function with $post user password variable. Here this condition will check if both variable value or one of the variable value is blank, then it will execute if block of code, otherwise it will execute else block of code. Suppose both or one of the variable value is blank, then it will execute if block of code, and under this block we have write $message variable is equal to text like both fields are required. But suppose both variable value is not blank, then it will execute else block of code, and under this block we have write $query variable is equal to select star from user details table where user email is equal to user email. Here we have used PHP data object for database operation, so here we have write $statement variable is equal to database connection string $connect variable with prepare statement, and under this we have write $query variable. Here by using prepare statement we have make query for execution. Now we want to execute this prepare statement query, so we have write $statement variable with execute method, and under this method we have write array with key user email with value $post user email variable. Then after we want to get number of rows affected by this query execution, so we have write $count variable is equal to $statement variable with row count method. By this method we can get number of rows affected by query execution and store into $count variable. Now we have write if statement, and under condition we have write $count variable value greater than 0. If $count variable is greater than 0, then it will execute if block of code, otherwise it will execute else block of code. Suppose $count variable is equal to 0, then it will execute else block of code, and under this block we have write $message variable is equal to text like wrong email address. But suppose $count variable value is greater than 0, then it will execute if block of code, and under this block we have write $result variable is equal to $statement variable with fetch all method. Here we have fetch query execution result and store into $result variable by using fetch all method. Now we want to access data from this $result variable, so we have write for each loop with $result variable as $row variable. So by using for each loop we can access data of $result variable. Under this loop we have again write if statement, and under condition we have write $row user status variable value is equal to active. Here we have check table column user status value is equal to active, then it will execute if block of code and user status is active but it is not equal to active, then it will execute else block of code and user status is inactive. Suppose $row user status variable value is not equal to active, then it will execute else block of code, and under this block we have write $message variable is equal to message like your account has been disabled, please contact admin. So when an active user will try to log in into system, then he will receive this message on his web page. but user is active, then it will execute if block of code. Under this if block we have write if statement, and under condition we have write password verify function with 2 argument. In first argument we have write $post user password variable, and in second argument we have write $row user password variable value get from table. Here we have use password verify function, which are used to verify encrypted hash password. Here $post user password value get from login form and simple form, and $row user password variable value get from user details table, which are store encrypted form. So by using password verify method we can verify encrypted password. So if password is matched, then it will execute if block of code, but suppose password is not matched by this password verify method, then it will execute else block of code. Suppose password is not matched with stored encrypted password, then it will execute else block of code, and under this block we have write $message variable is equal to text like wrong password. But suppose password is matched, then it will execute if block of code, and under this block we have create session type variable is equal to $row user type variable. So here we have create one type session variable, and in this variable we have store user type like master user or sub user get from user table, so we can access value of this variable across our system. After creating type session variable with value, now we want to redirect to index.php page. So here we have write header function, and under this function we have write location with page name index.php. This code will redirect page to index.php page. Now we have go to index.php page, and here we want to include database connection.php page. So here we have write include statement with PHP file name database connection.php page. Then after we want to restrict user to access this page or not log in into our system, so here we have write if statement, and under condition we have write not operator with is set function with $session type variable. This condition will check if $session type variable value is not set, then it will execute if block of code, and under this block we have write header function with location login.php page. So if this $session type variable value is not set, that means user is not logged into our system, then he cannot directly access this page and he will redirect to login page. After this we want to write code for logout from system, so here on index.php page here we have write anchor tag with attribute ref is equal to logout.php page link, and under anchor text we have write logout. So when user log in into system, then on this page he can view this logout link. By clicking this link user will redirect to logout.php and he can log out from this system. So for logout we have go to logout.php page, and on this page first we have write session start function. This function will start session on this page. After start session on this page, now we have write session destroy function. This function will destroy all session variable across the system, so after removing all session data, so when we have go to index page it will redirect to login page. So for go to login page we have write header function, and under this function we have write location with login.php page. This code will redirect to this login.php page. Now we have moved to write PHP code on index page. After successfully done login by admin and sub-user will be redirect to this index page. Here first we have write if statement, and under condition we have write $session type variable value is equal to user. We have store user type data in this $session type variable, so when this $session type variable is equal to user, then it will execute if block of code. Otherwise it will execute else block of code. Suppose $session type variable value is equal to user, that means the C is sub-user, so it will execute if block of code, and under this block we have write echo statement with text message like hi welcome user. But suppose $session type variable value is not equal to user, that means he is admin of system, then it will execute else block of code and this master user has rights to disabled and enable user. So for view all user details we have create on division tag with class is equal to table responsive and it is equal to user data. Under this tag we will load all sub-user details by using Ajax request. For load all user details for disabled and enabled user status, so in query code we have create one function load user data. This function will fetch data from user details and display under division tag within user data with enabled and disabled user status button. Under this function we have create one action variable is equal fetch. This variable value we will use that server side for identify fetch data action. After this we have create Ajax request for send request to server. Under this first we have write URL option set to action.php page. This option define we want to send request to this page. In second option we have write method option. In this option we can define which method we should use for send data to server. So here we have write post method for send data to server. In third option we have write data option. In this option we can define which data we want send to server. So here we have write action variable which we want send to server. Lastly we have write success callback function. This function has been called if request completed successfully, and this function will receive data from server which we can access from this data argument. Here Ajax request will receive user data from server which we want to display it under division tag with attributed user data. So here we have write $with division tag in user data with HTML method, and under this method we have write data. It will display user data with disabled enabled button under user data division tag. Now we have called this function here because when page has been loaded then this function has been called and it will display user data with disabled and enabled button under division tag within user data. Now we have go to action.php page. On this page we have first write if statement and under condition we have write set function with $post action variable. This condition will check if this variable value is set or not. If value is set then it will execute if block of code. Suppose action variable value is set then it will execute if block of code, and after we want to make database connection, so we have write include statement with file name database connection.php. This code will make database connection on this page. After this we have again write if statement and under condition we have write $post action variable value is equal to fetch. This condition will check if this variable value is equal to fetch, then it will execute if block of code. So suppose this action variable value is equal to fetch, so it has been execute if block of code, and under this block we have defined $1 output variable is equal to blank. Under this variable we will store user details in HTML format. After this we have write $query variable is equal to select star from user details table where user type is equal to user order by username in ascending order. This query will fetch all sub-user data. Below this we have write $statement variable is equal to database connection string $connect variable with prepare statement, and under this we have write $query variable. This statement will prepare query for execution. Now we want to execute this query, so we have write $statement variable with execute method. This method will execute query. After query execution, we want to fetch result from query execution, so we have write $result variable is equal to $statement variable with fetch all method. This method will fetch result from query execution and store into $result variable. Now we have write $output variable, and in this variable we have append HTML code, and in code we have create one table with 4 table column like name, email, status and action. Then after we want to fetch data from this $result variable, so we have write for each loop, and under this we have write $result variable as $row variable. This loop will fetch data from result variable one by $row as reference. Under this loop first we have write $status variable is equal to blank variable. In this variable we will store status of user. After this we have write if statement, and under condition we have write $row user status variable is equal to active. This condition will check if this variable value is equal to active, then it will execute if block of code, otherwise it will execute else block. Suppose $row user status variable value is equal to active, then it will execute if block of code, and under this block we have write $status variable is equal to span tag with class is equal to label success with text active. But suppose $row user status variable value is not equal to active, then it will execute else block of code, and under this we have write $status variable is equal to span tag with class is equal to label danger with text inactive. Now we have write $output variable, and in this we have append HTML code like open and close table row tag. In between this tag we have defined one table data tag. In between this we have write $row username variable. This will print username from user details table. After this we have defined second table data tag. In between this tag we have write $row user email variable. This will print user email data from user details table. Now we want to print user status, so again we have defined table data tag. In between this tag we have write $status variable. This will print status of user with stylish bootstrap label class. And lastly we want to make enable and disable button, so we have create one table data tag. In between this we have write button tag with attribute type is equal to button with name is equal to action, class is equal to action, data user id is equal to $row user id variable, data user status is equal to $row user status variable, and in button text we have write action. Here we have define action class which we will use selector in query code, and then data user ID attribute we have store $row user id variable, and user status data we have store data user status attribute. We will fetch value from this both attribute in query code. Lastly we want to close table tag, so we have write $output variable, and in this we have append HTML code like close table tag. So this we have store all user data in $output variable in HTML format. Now we want to send this $output variable value to Ajax request, so we have write echo statement with $output variable. This will send this data to Ajax request, and it will print under division tag with it user data. Now we have check output in browser. Friends, you can see when page has been loaded into browser, then we can see login page not index page. System directly redirect to login page, and we cannot access index page without login. So on login page we have directly click on login button, then we have received error message like both fields are required. Then after we have again write wrong email and wrong password and click on login button. Then after we have received wrong email address error message on web page. After this we have write proper user email johnsmith@gmail.com and wrong password. Here John Smith is a admin of this system. Now we have received error message like wrong password on web page. Lastly we have write proper email johnsmith@gmail.com and proper password like password and click on login button. After click on login button page has been redirected to index.php page. that means our login code is working with all validation. After login into system, we can see index.php page in browser. That means we have entered proper details, so system can give rights to access this page, and on this index page we can see here logout link. Below we can see also user details with action button. By clicking on this action button we can make active user to inactive and inactive user to active user. Now in other browser we have make login with sub-user details like donyakuber@gmail.com and password is equal to password. Click on login button. After login we can see welcome user message on index page, and in sub-user login we cannot see user details because it has no rights to see it. Now we have move right code enabled and disabled user code, so we have go to index page query code, and here we have write $document with on method, and under this we have right click event with button class action with function, so when we have click on action button this code will execute. Under this block we have defined one user ID variable is equal to $this with data method, and under this we have write user ID. This code will fetch user ID value from data user ID attribute and store into user ID variable. After this we have write user status variable is equal to $this with data method, and under this we have write user status. This code will fetch data from data user status attribute and store into user status variable. Below this we have define action variable is equal change status value. We will use value of this variable at server side for define action variable value. Now first here we have defined one span tag with attribute that is equal to message. Under this we will display message after we have changed particular user status. So again we have go to jQuery code, and here we have write $with span tag id message with HTML method with blank value. This code will clear HTML code from span tag. After this we have write if statement, and under condition we have write confirm statement with message like are you sure you want to change status of this user. So when we have click on action button this confirm pop box will pop up on web page with OK and cancel button. Suppose we have click on cancel button, then it will execute else block of code. Under this block we have write return false statement. That means no action will be taken. But suppose we click on OK button, then it will execute if block of code, and under this we have write Ajax request for send request to server, and here we have first write URL option set to action.php page. Here we have send request to this page. In second option we have write method option set to post. That means we use post method for send data to server. In third option we have write data option. In this option we can define which data we want send to server. So here we have pass 3 variable like user ID, user status and action variable. Lastly we have write success callback function. This function has been called, and this function will receive data from server which we can be accessed from this data argument. Under this function we have write if statement, and under condition we have write data variable value is not equal to blank. This condition will check if this variable has some value, then it will execute if block of code. Under this block we have called load user data function. This function will fetch data from user details table and display under division tag with attribute it is equal to user data. And we want to also display data under span tag with attributed message which we have received from server. So here we have write $with span tag id message with HTML method, and under this we have write data. This code will display data under message span tag. Now we have moved to write PHP code on action.php page, and on this page here we have write if statement, and under condition we have write $post action variable value is equal to change status. So here when this variable value is equal to change status, then it will execute if block of code. Under this block we have write $status variable is blank value. Under this variable we will store user status. After this we have write if statement, and under condition we have write $post user status variable value is equal to active, then it will execute if block of code, otherwise it will execute else block of code. Suppose $post user status variable value is equal to active, then it will execute if block of code, and under this block we have write $status variable is equal inactive. But $post user status variable value is not equal to active, then it will execute else block of code, and under this we have write $status variable is equal to active. This way we have defined user status value in $status variable. Now we have write $query variable is equal to update user details table set user status is equal to user status, where user id is equal to user ID. This update query will update user status table column data based on user ID. After this we have write $statement variable is equal to database connection string $connect with prepare statement, and under this we have write $query variable. This code will prepare query for execution. Now we want to execute this query, so we have write $statement with execute method, and under this we have passed user status from $status variable and user id key value get from $post user id variable in array format. This code will execute update query. It will change status of particular user based on value of $post user id variable. Below this we have write $result variable is equal to $statement with fetch all method. This method will fetch result from query execution and store into $result variable. This is for we want to check data properly updated or not. So for this here we have write if statement, and under condition we have write set function with $result variable. This condition will check if this variable value is set or not. If value is set, then it will execute if block of code and data properly updated. Suppose $result variable value is set, then it will execute if block of code, and under this we have write echo statement with message like user status has been set to value of $status variable. This message will be seen to admin after change particular user status. Now our code is ready and we have check output in browser. Friends, we have already checked output when admin login into system and sub-user login into system. When admin login into system, then he can see all user details with all user status active with action button. By clicking on action button he can do enable or disable any user, and when sub-user has login into system he can only view welcome message on web page. So now we have Go Admin Login Index page, and here we can see all user details with action button for enable and disable login of particular user. So now we want to disable the Stone YouTuber user, so we have simply click on action button. After clicking on button on page confirm message has pop on web page. So we have click on OK button. After clicking on OK button we have received success message like user status has been set to inactive and the Stone YouTuber user status column data has been changed to inactive. That means this user now cannot log in into our system. So in next browser we have go to login page of system, and in this we have enter email donyahuber@gmail.com, and in password we have enter password, and click on login button. But after clicking on login button we have received warning message like your account has been disabled, please contact admin. This message has been received when particular user account is inactive. Now we have again go to John Smith admin side, we have again click on Done YouTuber action button. Currently its status is inactive, so we have click on active button and again pop message box and we have click on OK button. After click on OK we have received success message with user status changed to active. So again we have go to Done YouTuber browser and here again we have enter doneyoutuber@gmail.com as email and in password we have enter password and click on login button. After click on login button page has been redirect to index page and on this we can see welcome message. So here our code is working on how to enable and how disable particular user login to access our system. So here we have used functionality of both PHP and Ajax for make this type of system. By using this feature admin can easily disable any particular user login for stop access system. I hope you have enjoyed this video and learned something new from this tutorial. If you have any query regarding this video tutorial part, please comment your query in comment box and if you like this video tutorial please share with your friends or even you can also share on social media also. If you want to get more update regarding our video tutorial, please subscribe our YouTube channel for get more update regarding release of future video. Lastly keep watching our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching this video tutorial.